good introduction. In his first State of the Nation address, President Duterte, as mentioned by Peter earlier, declared his administration as the golden age of infrastructure. This 2017, your government will embark on the boldest, most ambitious infrastructure program in history. For the first time, our government will be spending 5.4% of its gross domestic product in infrastructure, the highest in the last, nearly 40, 50 years in the past administration. Being with DPWH for 32 years, allow me to confirm that. We have long dreamed and fought for this opportunity, translating to reality the blueprint of progress. Mentioned earlier, there were already many projects in the pipeline that have not been implemented. We will now see this infrastructure program implemented, grounded on the necessity to build quality, sustainable infrastructure that would transcend our generation. Allow me to present the DPWH infrastructure program starting 2017 until 2022. Mentioned earlier that we are lagging behind our ASEAN neighbors, especially in terms of the quality of infrastructure. That is true. In fact, let me just focus on the quality of roads, where DPWH is the national government in charge. We are at, lagging behind at 97 out of 114 countries. In fact, our benchmarks, we are rated 3.3 from a ranking of 1 to 7, 7 being the best extensive road network and efficient by international standards. We would want to see this increase and improve in the next 6 years under President Duterte. Number 4 focuses on the acceleration to annual infrastructure spending to about 5%. We have exceeded that for this year. We are going to spend 5.4% of our budget for infrastructure. And mind you, the new budget law, which has been enacted and will be implemented starting January, the budget is only good for 1 year. So meaning, if agencies like DPWH, and you will see the budget of DPWH later, will not be able to contract and award it, we will lose the budget in 1 year. That's a very big challenge to national government agency, especially to DPWH, where we are implementing more than 50% of the infrastructure budget of the government. Again, accelerating infra, but promoting PPP as well. And we are already encouraging unsolicited proposals to be submitted to us, especially on expressways and other projects that are being implemented by DPWH. We've already mentioned the road to gold, road to steel, whatever you call it. We are going to start the ball rolling, as mentioned, in the next 6 years. 8 to 9 trillion is going to be budgeted by the government for infrastructure. As I said, 1 year awarding a contract, and if we're not able to award a contract, we'll lose the budget and we get to explain to the President why we were not able to do so. This is the Philippine infrastructure budget at 5.4%. The total infrastructure budget allotted by government is 860 billion pesos, which roughly accounts for 5.4% of our GDP. This is a huge increase from where we were back in 2011, when we budgeted 175 billion, or roughly 1.8%, less than 2% of our GDP to infrastructure. So that said, the challenge now is not just with the government, but also with the private sector. Remember, DPWH alone, in terms of the number of contracts that we are going to implement, this roughly represents about 15 to 20,000 contracts in 1 year. Do we have enough contractors? Yusek Ruth should be able to answer that. As I said, we just received reports that there may be some engineers displaced in the Middle East. But we are now ready to shout to them that they have jobs waiting for them in the country. Next slide. The mantra, build, build, build. Dati, PPP. Plan, plan, plan. Naman sir, wag naman PowerPoint presentation. Plan, plan, plan. Maraming plano. Right now, our mantra is build, build, build. Next slide. So these are our strategic plan. Let me present to you now our strategic programs and policies that your Department of Public Works and Highways is going to implement in the next 6 years. Traffic decongestion program. We're going to construct, improve national roads and bridges, build flyovers, especially in urban centers, and interchanges and underpasses. Yesterday, when the MOA for the common station was signed, we're supposed to build a flyover there. We are now redesigning that flyover to be an underpass in conformance to the design of the common station. So with DOTR and DPWH taking the help for the infrastructure development, by the way, we are very close. We have very close coordination, not just with the DOTR, but also with other agencies like MMDA, in making sure that we are implementing the plans for Metro Manila. Integrated and seamless transport. Aside from Metro Manila, because we would want to focus not just on Metro Manila, but also outside Metro Manila, particularly in other urban centers, cities like Metro Iloilo, Metro Cagayan, Metro Davao, Metro Cebu. We are building growth corridors in these urban centers. We are connecting actually major roads, leading to ports and seaports as well as tourism destinations and industry hubs. Public-private partnership, we welcome unsolicited proposals. Okay? We have already received around 5 as of today. In 6 months, 5 unsolicited proposals we are already reviewing together with PPP Center and DEDA. Convergence and Rural Road Development Program, as I said, we're focusing not just on Metro Manila, or National Capital Region, which used to have one of the biggest budget in our agency. I will show you how much budget the other regions will be receiving this year. But as I said, we're focusing on making sure access is provided not just in Metro Manila, but also in other areas, especially those that are connecting to designated tourism destinations, ports and seaports, as well as building farm-to-market roads that are important to promote agriculture. Livable, sustainable, and resilient communities by making sure, especially our flood control projects. You must have heard of the situation right now in Cagayan de Oro. And if you're familiar, repeating, you must remember Sendong, about 3 to 4 years ago, hitting the same region, Cagayan de Oro City. We're building actually a major flood control system in Cagayan de Oro City, and together with LGU, we hope to complete this in the next 2 to 3 years to address the problems in that area. Problem with Cagayan de Oro is really urbanization as well as the lack of infrastructure facilities to address the growing population. Imagine drainage built many years ago no longer be able to hold the requirement, especially with climate change. Disaster Risk Reduction and Climate Change Adaptation Program. Your Public Works and Highways is also into major flood control projects nationwide. Of course, if I will refresh your memory, 2009, Ondoy, where Metro Manila was submerged for many weeks. Even after the heavy rains back in 29 of September, if I recall, we were still, a lot of areas in Metro Manila, particularly in Cavite and Laguna, are still submerged in waters. And because of that, we prepared and completed a master plan. I will show you the list of projects so that a lot of you may be interested to participate, join government in making sure all these infrastructure projects are implemented. Infrastructure support for marginalized sector, especially urban areas. We want to have, a complete infrastructure project to include provision for, say, bike lanes for senior citizens, for marginalized sectors such as women, and to ensure that these are consistent and in conformance with our existing laws, particularly on physically challenged persons. We want to create environment-friendly communities by making sure that there is ample pedestrian infrastructure, especially for people. We want to recover our right-of-way. So part of the Traffic Crisis Act that is being pushed is that there will be a single agency to be in charge of all the implementation of traffic management laws and rules and regulations. Let me cite to you the master plan on where we anchor our major infrastructure projects that would support our infrastructure planning. And we completed actually a study on the master plan on high standard highway back in 2010. This was with JICA. And a number of this actually, the 10 major projects identified in this master plan are already in various stages of implementation. The expressway is going to be finished by March. It's a PPP project. We've already opened several segments of it, but full connection to the Skyway will be completed and open by March. That's less than 2 months from now. Hopefully that will ease up the traffic around the airport, as well as connecting, you don't need to go down on the road to be able to transfer from terminals 1, 2, and 3. And by the way, those open segments, they are free from toll up to 21 this month. So if, nobody should be charging us toll until 21. After 21, since 1 month from the time that we officially opened last December, they will already be charging toll. 45 pesos for the full toll fee of Nai Expressway. The rest, the connector, we've signed the contract, we started doing the right-of-way acquisition. Mentioned earlier is the problem of right-of-way. That is true. That's one of the biggest problems, not just for PPP, but also for the other infrastructure program of government. And I'm not talking only of DPWH. But there's a new law which was passed last year, and the new law provides payment of, instead of zonal value, the fair market value. I take note of the suggestion earlier to further increase the compensation for right-of-way by times 1.5. In fair market value, medyo tataas na po yung project cost ko. No? So, I'll still have to get NEDA to clear whether we can increase or we can propose further increase of compensating right-of-way. Yun nga lang project cost ko. There's one project na 23 million lang po yung cost of the project, and it's here in Metro Manila. But the cost of right-of-way is 2 billion. Where is it? White Plains. So, again, it's not, the right-of-way compensation in Metro Manila is going to be very expensive because of the new law. But hopefully, we'll be able to hurdle a lot of the challenge and delays due to the back and forth negotiation based on the old law where we start off at zonal value. So now we start off automatic offer fair market value. Cavite-Laguna Expressway, ongoing and right-of-way. The construction will start this year. Plaridel Bypass Road is going to be the phase 2 is going to start also this year. Tiplex will be completed. The full length of Tiplex will be completed in 2018, opening all the way up to Rosario. And the Central Luzon Expressway from Tarlac to Cabanatuan will start the phase 2 will start in 2016 and completed in 2020, all under the current term of President Duterte. Ongoing is the Buendia underpass. So, brace on for more traffic in Metro Manila. Then, as I said, we're building interchanges. Underpass na actually, it's no longer an interchange, but it's already an underpass in the Trinoma, where you will have the common station. The Bonifacio Global City Bridge, which also was mentioned earlier, there were some objections from the homeowners. We were able to hurdle that already. At the end of the day, the benefit for majority should prevail over, but the concession was we did some realignment so as not to disturb the peace and quiet of the neighbor in that area. So we're going to build also a viaduct along C5 Katipunan. Parang malungkot kayo kasi mas maraming traffic. Davao City, Lawag City, one in Leyte. There's a Tacloban City bypass and Alaya bypass in Bukidnon. So those of you who have business prospects in other areas, there will be infrastructures necessary for us to be able to provide access for investors. Next slide. We want to build long-span bridges. And while we have very competent consultants here, led by no less than my predecessor, Doc Early, we would want to welcome expertise, especially foreign expertise, to have wider options to build long-span bridges. Building bridges from about 10 kilometers to about 35 kilometers, which is the Bohol-Leyte Link Bridge. We've identified those and we've submitted those to NEDA as our priority list for feasibility study to prepare for possible financing. Long-span bridges. We want to connect Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. We're focusing on rural development program, and we have this master plan we finished, which is our group blueprint for Mindanao Logistic Infrastructure Network. We identified, the roads that are vital to logistics industries in Mindanao, and even if they're local roads, not national roads, which is basically the mandate of DPWH, we're building them. In fact, we have started them more than 3 years ago. We've invested a lot of them, and we'll be completing them this year with our budget, and hopefully a few more bridges to add to the Mindanao Logistic Network by 2018. So, probably I can mention, can you go back? So, if you're familiar with Mindanao, Ma'am, Butuan, Ma'am was here earlier, but maybe she will be interested to know that we have, Butuan, Davao in our pipeline, widening projects. We want to widen our national roads already. The existing ones are only good for two by two. We want to expand and widen them to accommodate 3 by 3 lane. We're also connecting missing link in far-off provinces like Compostela Valley, like Agusan del Sur in Bukidnon, and Maguindanao, and Davao del Sur, among others. Together with the Department of Tourism, we are anchoring our tourism road infrastructure project, which we started back way in 2010, to identify roads leading to tourist destinations. We are now going to implement the phase 2 of that, again based on the National Tourism Development Plan of the Department of Tourism. With the Department of Trade and Industry, USEC Ruth is here, we've identified roads leading to industries and hub. DTI has identified 10 major products, services, under their blueprint also. We will identify together with the stakeholders, for example, owners of big businesses in Mindanao, in Visayas, the Supply Chain Management Association of the Philippines, other stakeholders, where are the roads that needs improvement, so that with an improved access, the cost of transportation, delivering these goods from the source to the market will be lowered. So even if and we're now starting that convergence program through a formal memorandum of agreement which was signed by both Secretary Lopez of DTI and Secretary Villar late last year. So there's now a formal partnership forged by the two secretaries to implement what we call roll-in, or roads leading to logistics for industry and trade. This is our blueprint for major flood control projects. And you see, fresh from the news about Cagayan de Oro, we have a master plan for Cagayan de Oro, and ongoing right now is a big flood control project in Cagayan de Oro. Again, there are still, can you go back? There are still plans that needs to be updated. So we are again, requesting NEDA to help us find experts to help us prepare master plans for the rest. Those remaining without plans and flood control, which we are still seeking for technical assistance, we have river basin in Abra, Abulug, Tagum, Libuganon in Davao, Davao River Basin, the Buayan Malumon, also in Davao, the Halaur in Iloilo, and the Agus also in northern Mindanao. Together with the rest of the agencies like the Department of Environment and Natural Resources and the Department of Agriculture, we will identify flood control projects that are important not just to control flooding but also provide irrigation and water to irrigable lands, agricultural lands. Next slide. This is our master plan for Metro Manila and surrounding areas that we completed post-Ondoy. And under this master plan, we identified 11 major flood control projects worth 350 billion pesos that will be implemented in the next 10 to 20 years because those are big ticket projects. The challenge really in implementing flood control projects is not only right-of-way, but also relocating informal settlers and families. You must have heard President Duterte said, no demolition, no relocation, no demolition. So we have to build first. The relocations, government has to build first the relocation sites before we can even relocate them and build our infrastructure. So the challenge, especially in Metro Manila, is making sure that we relocate and the ISF, or the informal settlers and families, will have their sites where they can be relocated before we can even start demolition works and constructing our flood control projects. If we are going towards federalism, and that is being pushed by President Duterte, we need to improve regional economy and not just Metro Manila economy. So that said, I will show you, next slide, the DPWH infrastructure program and how is it allocated. Much of our budget are focused on highways, roads, bridges, and the red part, those are the budget allotted for flood control. The DPWH total infrastructure capital outlay program, around 400 billion pesos in 2017 alone, that needs to be awarded and contracted by not later than end of the year, otherwise we lose the budget. For the first time in the history, not just of public works but government, our budget allocates almost 37% for Mindanao alone. Region 11 takes the bulk at 42 billion pesos. So all of that, let us now gear up for bigger challenges. I've heard the speakers before me says that we have now the blueprint, we just now need to implement. In the last decades, we've seen a lot of programs, similar projects that have not been implemented. Together, we should start now building those infrastructure. And President Duterte's administration identified a very ambitious and a very bold infrastructure program for us to implement. And, I'm a civil engineer, and most of you are. And as I said, I hope this will be remembered, not just the golden age of infrastructure, but also the golden age of engineers. Yes, because we will have a lot of work to do. So with that, thank you for this opportunity. And if you want more details, because I'm sure a lot of you would want to ask more details on those projects, please our emails are on the website, and you can actually get a copy of this by emailing me. My email is in the website. Thank you so much, and thank you, Rachel.